All right, guys, you know exactly what time it is. It's the Friday Night SmackDown post show. I am hoodie up because I have an issue with my men putting themselves against me for the ops. And we're going to talk about that tonight on Friday Night SmackDown because obviously, Rhea, you need to get our boys together, okay?
T minus 1 minute. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
That's right, you guys. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Of course, you already know what time it is, the Friday Night SmackDown post show. But of course, your EIC of WT here, the only resigning one. I don't care what nobody got to say. Okay. At all whatsoever, you know, Drian Santana, one part of the only dominating tag team in the women's wrestling talk history, the Charlotte Clippers. And of course, I'm not alone. I got Queen Stephanie Hardy of Steph Mania 30 here. It's a big celebration, you guys. You don't know that by now. Get with the program. Stephanie, how are you doing? And this episode Friday Night SmackDown. Like I said, I got beef, I got problems, I got issues, and I'm ready to fight.
Yes, you're ready to fight. And honestly, I just feel like a champion this week because a lot was done. It was a very productive weekend. Yes, my birthday was Monday, but I'm still celebrating, throughout the month. So I'm really happy to #1 be alive. And #2 to watch wrestling because there's a lot of good stuff happening, lots of crazy stuff happening, even right now as we speak on other shows and stuff. But either way, it's always good to be here to talk about SmackDown. And I feel like a champion, hence why I have my SmackDown women's title here. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
I have the exact same title in my drawer. And I
Isn't it beautiful?
It is, and I actually want the new women's champion, both of them to be exact,
Me too.
because I feel like they just fit the aesthetic that I have in my apartment, especially my living room. So I use them as like decoration or some shit like I want them, but you know. But
Mm-hmm.
of course, like I said, we are here for Friday Night SmackDown. Victory Road is currently going on, and when the fuck did the ref? Okay, Victory Road is happening right now at the same time, you guys. So like, I am like it feels like every time there's like an Impact show happening, like there's always the women's matches happening, and so Eddie, what are you doing? Okay, all right,
Lord.
here we. Oh, okay, so yeah, we're definitely, of course, we do have a Victory Road post show for Impact happening later on tonight after Friday Night SmackDown goes off at 11:30. So let's go ahead and dive into the show because even though we're a little distracted here, try to keep a little bit of focus here because
Somebody just threw some garbage at him.
as they should have because he is garbage. All right, so of course, we open up the show with the women since the women are on right now. Oh my god. Okay, so Tracy Brooks is here with Frank, even though my screen, I'm a little behind though.
Me too.
My screen is still showing Eddie trying to fix his damn table.
Oh, Jesus is a problem.
Science for a project table. So we have the opening match tonight for Friday Night SmackDown. Shotzi teaming up with Charlotte Flair, taking on Damage Control's Bailey and the women's champion Io Sky. This was a great opening match. I mean, Charlotte looking absolutely gorgeous in her bubblegum pink, and Shotzi being exactly who Shotzi is, like just a crazy wild person and everything like that. So the thought and the enjoyment of watching these two be together in a tag match was quite interesting per se. Charlotte is definitely on her babyface run, and of course, I am definitely enjoying it. Of course, Dakota Kai is ringside holding the titles. I mean, because she's currently still injured, and she said she wasn't truly going to be able to step back into the ring until January of 2024. So maybe Royal Rumble season is on. It's a rising for Dakota Kai, but always happy and nice to see her there. I know there was a dark match with Zelina and Mia versus Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, and Zelina looked absolutely gorgeous in like her black and white inspired Puerto Rican. Oh, girl, Lord, Puerto Rican style inspired gear, especially with 9/11 coming up, the passing of her father and all that there. But nonetheless, like I said, this was our opening match. These women put on a really, really good match. I mean, Shotzi was in there majority of the time, taking a lot of damage from, of course, Bailey, with their issues, and of course, even with Io. And it seemed as if, like, you know, Charlotte and Shotzi were definitely getting a little bit of the upper hand as much as she could. But I mean, Bailey and Io, they of course work extremely well as a tag team. You know what I'm saying? And even in the midst of like them winning the match and everything with Charlotte and Shotzi, Shotzi has 2 wins over Bailey. Like, what? That is something that she can say that she has over Bailey. And honestly, I think this is great for Shotzi because Shotzi has kind of been on the back burner for a lot of different things, especially when it comes to feuds or matches and everything like that. And to finally have her opportunity to finally get some spotlight, get some shine, I think it's great for her. Pairing with Charlotte is great because, I mean, like I said, Charlotte is in her babyface run, so she's definitely like doing exactly what she needs to do as being a babyface, top of the company. What's so interesting is that while Dakota was holding uh Io's title, Asuka comes up behind her like this Halloween scary type vibe, and she takes the title from Dakota and holds it up, and then eventually we see these two step into the ring with each other. Now, this is something that I know a lot of people have been wanting to see, and that is Io Sky versus Asuka for that championship, or just honestly just being a feud. Period. Like this is like these are 2 women coming from Stardom, of course, and having their longevity, being a tag over there, being a faction over there, coming over here, and we finally, probably finally, actually get this between Asuka and Io. I don't know. I would love to know the fact that, well, Kana, whatever. Here, she's still called Asuka until they decide they want to change her name to Kana. Um, so I am hoping. We've been saying that Asuka is supposed to be Kana, but she hasn't been legitimately scaring the crap out of her opponents like that because Io is not scared of her at all whatsoever. And this is just the first encounter that we're truly really seeing between these two here in WWE wise. So I mean, I'm here for it. I don't have an issue with it. By no means necessary. This is something that I was hoping for that we eventually got to. I don't necessarily know if it's gonna go to like Fastlane or whatever, but they did announce that next week Io will be putting her title against the line on Asuka on Friday Night SmackDown. So, depending on how that goes, this could go to Fastlane. I would not mind it, but Stephanie, the opening match with the women and the ending of it, and seeing these two step into and stand across from each other. I mean, how did you feel about that?
Yeah, well, from the beginning, we had never really seen the chemistry that Shotzi and Charlotte could have as a tag team before because they've never really been in the same situations before. But I was sort of here for it just to see how the dynamic was gonna go, and I absolutely did love Charlotte's gear because I just love that whoever's making her gear is giving her brighter colors. Because normally we see her, in purples or like in blacks or in blues, of course, but then now it's just like she's been in oranges and greens, and now she's in pink, like Barbie. Like it was definitely giving big Barbie energy. But then you also have her robe, which was giving Renaissance. So I was just like, oh my God, like, what is she doing? But either way, both looks were really cute. Um, yeah, like this match was very entertaining from start to finish for me because of course you had Shotzi trying to gun for Bailey here again, just trying to, get more of her lick back, for the way that Bailey has been embarrassing her. Like even online they showed a video of her searching for Bailey, looking for her to try to like torture her and everything. And then you have this match and it's just like every time she got her hands on her, she made it her business to just beat her up. But I will say that Bailey and Io have a lot better chemistry in comparison to Shotzi and Charlotte because, of course, they were isolating Shotzi a whole lot. And it was to the point where Charlotte was getting very frustrated and she was just like, look, I really need Shotzi to tag me in because I'm ready to go. And it was just really an energetic, pace to this match. And I'm glad that it got a long period of time, even though it was at the beginning of the show, it still got a pretty long time. And Io was, of course, always impressive with her aerial moves. Like, she's amazing always. So I love this match. But then when Asuka came up, I was like, oh my God, it's Asuka. I was really thrilled because it had been a minute since we had seen her, mixing it up since SummerSlam. Like, we hadn't really seen a lot of her since then. And then of course Damage Control attacked Bianca the way that they did. And now you have Asuka, who has an argument to get a chance at the title because of course she was fighting to keep it at SummerSlam. Even though it was ultimately Bianca who won that title off of her, but then got cashed in on. So it is really interesting to see how this is playing out. But I was happy that Shotzi did win a second time because she just deserves to win a lot, because we've seen her lose so many times over the past, it feels like over the past year on SmackDown. So it's really nice to see her win and actually, team up with somebody like a Charlotte, who came in the women's division before she did. So it's just really nice to see that. But when these women had this standoff with Io and Asuka, I was so crunk because I'm just like, this is what women's wrestling is. This is the personification of what women's wrestling greatness is. And this was an amazing way to end the week, considering we started the week, off of basking in the afterglow of Becky and Trish in the steel cage. And now we're ending the week in WWE with these two women having a standoff. And these are two of the best women that we know from Japanese wrestling squaring off against each other at this global big top circus company for the title. Like, this is stuff that you don't even necessarily have to overcomplicate or write. Just let them fight. Just let them fight.
Please.
And I will be here for it. So I love this whole segment. Asuka was very bold and brazen with the idea that she just threw the belt, and just tossed it. But either way, I'm definitely here for these women fighting each other because they're just, they just ooze greatness. And I just can't wait to see what's going to happen with them.
It's gonna be a great time though. Like I said, once we will get to that and everything. But I mean, the moment that these two step into the ring each other, like I said, even with the moment of Io winning the Money in the Bank briefcase, Oscar winning the championship, just like it's time. There have been moments that within war games with each other, like there were so many moments that they could have capitalized off of it. But I think that in different time with Io holding this championship and then Oscar, like Io is not scared of Oscar at all whatsoever. Like you can play those mind Oscar, you can play those mind games on everybody else, but you cannot trick Io, okay? You cannot trick her. So just know that. Point blank period. But what we do know is that Jimmy, I guess, is in with the bloodline. He did say that. He was told last week that you are the bloodline when we tell you that you are. And I guess he just decided that, well, I'm in tonight. What are we doing? And Paul is just, being who he is. And, you still got to go through Roman Reigns to truly say if you're really a part of the bloodline, because, I mean, you did leave first. Let's start there, and now Jay is off to Monday Night Raw. And Jimmy, you're here. Obviously, you can't be by yourself because you don't probably know how, where you're once again just falling suit with what the bloodline or whatever Paul and Roman and Solo have cooking up as of right now. You even wearing We the One shirt, so you're truly putting yourself back into this bloodline shit or whatever. And I don't know, just more so the fact of Paul letting Jimmy know, like, listen, AJ Styles, you got your match with him tonight and everything. You need to prove tonight why you should still be a part of this bloodline and everything like that. Because of course Roman's gonna be watching. Solo's not here. Roman's not here either. I'm here. I'm just here. So I don't think Jimmy knows what he's doing or knows what he wants to do. Let's start there. But honestly, truly, Jimmy could be doing some inside shit, to be honest. He could truly be using his own tactics to manipulate the bloodline. Because I mean, I don't know what it's gonna be like when y'all tribal chief decides he wants to come back to work. You know, seems like Paul is running duty and Solo allegedly is nowhere to be found. But I don't know. But then after they finished talking, AJ Styles, I don't know what the hell he's doing there, making a cup of coffee maybe. It's kind of too late for that because I mean that is look, it's like 7 o'clock. Like, why would you be making coffee at 7? But then again, I don't know about. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't know what coffee drinkers are like. You know, you may have coffee at 3 in the morning, and now you can't sleep. So, Paul comes over here to AJ, and I guess he tried to be rationalized with him about some things, but AJ was like, "Hold on, bitch. I remember when you took out my people. You the reason why my people got released 2 years ago. I ain't forgot. You trick. I haven't got about it." So he pushed his ass up against that damn little locker thing, and then Jimmy came out of nowhere and just knocked the hell out of AJ Styles and then flung his ass over the damn locker, the little thing or whatever. And then he's like, "You know what? I'm in." Like, yeet. I don't know what I promise you, I don't know what the fuck is going on with all of this here, but whatever it is, Jimmy is pissing me off. He really is. I'm sick of it. Already. And it's only been week 2 since he done brought his ass back. And I'm already done. I'm sick.
Yeah, Jimmy is spiraling. Um, I feel like he really is spiraling because on the one hand, you're saying that you messed your brother over at SummerSlam, for him and because you love him. But of course, now Jay is over on Raw, living his best life. It's just me, Oos. Day one, that's my song. He's living his best life over there, and you're over here, and he's just struggling to keep his head above water. He's not even waiting at this point; like he is drowning in the deep end because he ain't got nobody. It's just, and he's so lonely that he is willing to go back to the family that he willingly left because he just ain't got nobody, and it is just it's so sad. And the fact that he is so desperate to be back into a faction that you fought so hard to get out of, and they're telling you you're in, but with an asterisk, it's just kind of like, oh my God, like, Jimmy, just stop it. It's just really just stop it. And then the fact that Paul Heyman proceeded to leave him hanging and didn't even dap him up at the end, that should tell you everything you need to know right there. But no, Paul Heyman, goes over to AJ Styles and they have their war of words. And then AJ, of course, is not having it because he's just like, look, if you get in my face, I'm just gonna knock you out. Like, he doesn't care. But then Jimmy, who is still, in his desperation phase, continues to beat up on AJ Styles and handle him in his mind, um, to defend Paul and hopefully, get back in the good graces of, the bloodline. So afterward, y'all know what Paul Heyman did. Didn't even get his clothes back together after that point. He pulled out his phone and was like, call Roman Reigns. And I knew he was gonna say it because the minute he pulled that phone out, I was just like, and he was looking scared. Call Roman Reigns. That's exactly what he did, and that's just where we're at. But Jimmy's drowning. He's drowning, and you hate to see it, but that's what's going on.
For you to have the exact same red phone, it's so hilarious to me.
I actually don't. This is an iPhone, and
I
Paul
know.
Heyman.
I don't
Paul
know. It's just the same.
has
Like
an Android.
it just looks the same. So it makes
I
it
know
even
because
worse.
it's red.
It just makes it just makes it even worse. I don't know what Roman's gonna do. Roman is somewhere on vacation in Cancun, ducked off the world, and Paul is always saying, "Call Roman, call Roman, call Roman." Girl, you leaving that man a whole bunch of voice messages. His voice box is full. Email him.
Roman is trying to prepare for his children to go back to school. That's what he's doing.
Uh,
He's trying to get everybody registered. Shout out to the parents, because I know it's tough.
Oh Lord, their registration is Did y'all see Roman on the trailer behind them? No, I don't be paying attention to that man
I
whether you
did.
care or not. I didn't see it. I was
I did because I love the trailers. Like I love every time they come to town and they just so happen to park in front of the arena. I be taking pictures in front of them and everything. Like it's bad. I even have a picture of me in front of a trailer that they had with Stephanie McMahon in the background.
my
I be
God.
losing my mind. At live shows, it's lit. But yeah,
My God. Speaking of someone who did lose their mind, The Miz on Monday Night Raw after he attacked an invisible John Cena. Uh don't know what kind of substance he had that morning. But whatever it is, it was very powdery. And with LA Knight, of course, talking about what the Miz did on Monday and how you're still upset at the fact that I beat you. Me and John Cena might have been the special guest referee, but I still beat you, and you're mad about it. So now you want another shot, you want another match, and it's like, okay, fine. I'll give that to you, whatever. Since you're still upset about it or whatever, you won't even have to worry about John Cena being the special guest referee, or would he? Because Cena does return next week, so I don't know. But LA Knight, he wasn't able to get all of his shit off because Theory and Grayson, obviously a new formed tag team who's undefeated right now, according to Corey Graves, even though they only had one match, came out, and only Theory could say is that he beat John Cena, and Grayson can say that, well, John Cena got the rub from me or going to get the rub soon, and I'm the reason why he's back here, because of course he doesn't have a job, blah blah blah, all this and that. And then I mean, you can't just sit here and talk all this shit to LA Knight and not expect, repercussions. He does have a new shirt. It is out on WWE Shop, but WWE Shop does not pay me to sponsor these shirts that they be having on here. So unless WWE Shop want to put me on their affiliation program, then I will acknowledge the shirts that people have.
me too. That would be great. You know.
So let me talk to you. All right, but this does end up leading into the match with LA Knight versus Austin Theory. But before we get into this match, why do you think Theory keeps holding on to the fact that he beat John Cena and that's it?
I think and I hate this because I was actually there. So it's just like I think the reason why he keeps holding on to is because he knows that's the biggest victory he has on his resume at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anyone of John Cena's caliber that he's defeated, and I think that's why he's holding on to it, because if you think about in their rivalry, John Cena was one who challenged him the most and basically said what's been on everybody's mind about him, since he's come up to the main roster, and talked about how talented he is, but yet somehow there's a personality that that people just don't resonate with when it comes to him. And I feel like John Cena really bothered him a whole lot. And then I've even heard people say, people who I respect even say that they feel like Austin Theory could very well be, the next John Cena, due to him sort of starting off kind of like a prototype, the same way John Cena did,
Mm-hmm.
but, just in a different atmosphere. But like he could be it, right? But then at the same time, we see his talent, but there's just more of his personality just has yet to show. So I feel like that's why he's holding on to the fact that he beat him, even though he cheated to beat him. Because let's be real, the way he keeps bragging about it, you bragging about it like you did it fair and square. Sweetheart, you hit John Cena in his hoo-ha, and then you covered him. That was a mistake to me. I honestly feel like, even though John Cena was making movies at that time because Hollywood was still popping off, I feel like John Cena would have been a better choice to win that match. Maybe they should have just made it non-title. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But Austin cheating to beat him like that was just it like the air was out of the arena when it happened. We were just kind of like, but I feel like that's why he's holding on to it, because John Cena challenged him the most. And yeah, shout out to Bay. Grayson Waller did call him La Knight. He didn't say LA. He said La Knight. And he told me that made him laugh. So yeah, I just had to
He's
acknowledge that. That was funny.
an idiot. Grayson is. But
He is.
I don't have a problem with Grayson. I think he's absolutely a great addition to the Friday Night SmackDown roster. I thought that maybe just a little bit he would have got lost in the shuffle, but I feel like with a talent like Grayson, he's a jackass on the mic, but he's quite entertaining, I would say. And he can wrestle. So, and he makes himself useful. Whether it's, sitting commentary to the match with Theory and LA Knight or La Knight, um, which is like the night in Spanish for.
Oh wow.
It's hilarious, but it's more like for a woman per se, not a
Oh.
man. It could be gender neutral, whichever way however you choose to, understand your Spanish or your Espanol. But Grayson Theory, of course, which he made breaking news that John Cena would be on the Grayson Waller Effect show, which I know that Grayson has been trying to get Cena on this show. He's also been working, on trying to get The Rock on this show too, which I do feel like eventually is going to happen. So when it does, you're welcome.
I
But
don't know.
hey, Grayson has been making moves, power moves, honestly. He really has. Can you imagine? Okay, so Grayson Waller had Edge on his show. Then he gets a match with Edge. Grayson Waller has John Cena on his show. He probably will have a match with John Cena. Grayson Waller gets The Rock on his show. The Rock goes off and beat Roman Reigns for the championship, and then the tribal chief. And I go off to be the most wonderful person ever in my entire life. So I am holding on to that. I'm telling you right now, when it happens, when you come here for that post show, I might have on a Grayson Waller shirt just for the hell of it. But yeah, so during the match here, Grayson, he was of course being on commentary and all that jazz there, and he even tried to help Theory beat La Knight, and unfortunately, that did not happen because La Knight is a little bit smarter than the two idiots who can't even coexist with the big ass egos. So shout out to LA Knight for winning. Theory, you still lose in singles competition, sir. You just, I don't know, man. Sometimes I feel like being a heel for Theory, it just doesn't really work for him like that, It was a nice baby face when he was a dummy on NXT, but he's a great wrestler. He really is. Can't take that away from him. And I always swear I think Theory is an amazing wrestler, but character wise and being a heel just doesn't work. Something's missing from him. I think maybe he needs a Grayson Waller effect rub. That's what I think.
Santana, I was just about to mention it because there was a moment where I did see Austin Theory post a video on his Instagram where he
Mm-hmm.
was talking about it was like an old video of him when he was training to
Yeah.
to be a wrestler. And the way he was talking about how he knew, that was what he wanted to do with his life. It was just kind of like, yo, this Austin Theory is something I can actually sink my teeth into more than I can this version of Austin Theory as a
Yeah.
heel. And I was just talking to my dad about that today too, like tonight too. It's just like it's just something missing with him because clearly he's talented. Clearly, he has the look, he has the athleticism, but it's just something about him that's just missing. And maybe it would take him being a babyface because at least if we knew the story of why he became a wrestler and what his motivations are as a face, then maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to grasp onto that a whole lot more than him as a heel, because as a heel he just seems like a butthole, yes, but at the same time it just doesn't resonate as well. So I don't know, maybe Austin Theory just needs to go back to the drawing board a bit. Jeffrey said he needs to call his dad Vince to pick him back up. Lord,
He dropped him off at the daycare center and he never returned back. That's what happened.
that is so sad. But
No.
yeah, like this match though, I did enjoy it for the most
Yeah.
part. I did get irritated because he did the same thing that not Kiana, but Tiffany Stratton was trying to do in her championship match this week against Kiana James by climbing onto the rope, and then the referee caught them. Like, I was just like, oh, that's interesting. That's a very full circle thing. But yeah, like, even with all the underhanded tactics, like, Austin was very, potent in this match. Like, he tried to break LA Knight's neck a couple of times outside the ring and inside the ring. So he was going hard. But Grayson, of course, wasn't going to stay, out of his friend's business, because he was on commentary the whole time. And he helped him, and he took the turnbuckle cover off. And I was just like, nah, LA Knight isn't gonna go for that. And that's exactly what happened. LA Knight won. And he also proved that he knows the difference between an adjective and a verb.
Very much so.
Let that marinate.
And some people, obviously, English was not very important to them in their life.
Hey, some people can grasp it, and some people can't,
Mm-hmm. It's a double homicide. Other homicides that took place. AJ Styles is not happy about what Jimmy did to him earlier tonight. He is definitely very furious, and tonight he wants to put an end to Jimmy. He really does. And where's your people at, AJ? Oh, we'll find out exactly what your homies were doing while you out there getting your ass whooped. You know what to remind me of? If you see next Friday, and this was AJ is Day Day, and Jimmy is Tawanda, and Tawanda's out there keying up his car outside his home, just keying that bitch up, and then the OC and Mia are like in the window, like, God damn, she's scratching the shit out there, and then he's like, why y'all just standing there hugging and shit? Just standing there. She out here keying my car up. And y'all are here, and y'all want to look at TikTok videos, and y'all want to sit outside in the window and watch her do this shit. Why y'all stand there and do nothing? Like, hell no. So, AJ, I don't know where your friends at, but you seem to be out here fighting your own battles. You might need to go find you some new friends, and I think you may have found them tonight, or did you? So, any thoughts on this with AJ holding his mouth together because Jimmy knocked him inside his head?
Yeah, he's clearly frustrated. This segment was pretty, full of fire because AJ really is just kind of tired of all of this drama with Jimmy and stuff like that. And he just hates that he got jumped and everything. So he really is just ready to fight. So I definitely get it. And to Joseph, it's next Friday, not Black Friday. So yeah, it's just he's because in the comments he called it Black Friday and not next Friday.
Who is Tawanda? Because I'm talking about
next Friday, because you were talking about next Friday.
I fucked up my own joke.
I mean, well, either way, AJ is very frustrated with the idea that he, is in this drama now just because he was trying to, fight in honor of Mia. But it does kind of suck, the idea that his buddies weren't there to help him at that point, but we'll get into that a little bit later, I guess.
We found out exactly what his buddies were doing. So Adam Pearce and Paul Heyman, they were chatting about what I can care less, because I'm already tired of seeing Paul. This is my third, whatever time seeing Paul Heyman. I'm sick of it already. And LA Knight, he comes in, he's like, look, I don't give a damn what y'all talking about in here. Make the match. Me and The Miz next week, make the match. And so Paul, formally introduces himself to LA Knight. Say, I like the gimmick. Yeah, all this and that, but just want to let you know, like, whenever, like, I'm in here, talking to Adam, make sure you knock before you enter. LA Knight, shakes his hand and everything. He's like, yeah. Paul, don't be out here making new enemies. Okay. Just want to put that out there. Don't be out here making new enemies for your tribal chief. Anything is possible. Okay. But
Anything is possible. And then the thing is, Paul really was trying to like get that information out of him. And I'm just saying here, like, you can't just make Adam Pierce tell you who the trade is.
exactly. It's none of your business.
Like, who do you think you are? You may be the wise man to the bloodline, but at the same time, you can't just bum rush that man for answers that he's not supposed to give. Like, if you want to talk to the higher ups, talk to the higher ups. But even I'm pretty sure they won't even tell you. Like,
Absolutely not.
Paul is stressing himself out for no reason.
But he really is. I think he's worried about who he think uh the trade could be.
Yeah, he's so stressed out. He has more gray hair than usual.
I just think he stopped using that damn box dye.
And
Too
he
real.
also just needs to leave LA alone because LA is a grown man.
Very
You
much so.
know,
He did butter Lanite up, and then he roasted him. Girl,
he didn't roast him.
y'all don't slap people no more around here.
Right. That's how I was feeling. I was like, you should have hit him in his chest.
That's just mean. Cause I would have backhand his ass. Don't you tell me what I need to do.
Exactly. I would have hit him in his chest.
I would have smacked him on that little ball spot he got. Bongos. Okay. Now let's get to the real tea because y'all know why I'm happy. My man are here. Mine is Dominic, even though he's a part of Judgment Day, but he's not my man. My man that's holding the gold and everything like that. So happy. So Judgment Day is here, you guys. Of course, I am a fellow member of the Judgment Day and everything like that. I am the belt that holds up Damian Priest's belt, pants, and all this stuff like that. So that's who I am. That is my job in the Judgment Day is to hold up the pants on Damian Priest, and also hold up the underwear on Finn Balor. So I have two duties that I handle in the Judgment Day. Yeah, so Judgment Day, they are here, of course, because they do have a match tonight, and they kind of want to let it be known that listen, we did what the Bloodline could not do, and that is beat Sammy and Kevin, and we did that. We hold all the gold in Judgment Day, and all rise to the Judgment Day. Point blank. Period. Simple as that. There's nothing else to. There's nothing you can say. Absolutely nothing. By no means necessary. And so, of course, Dominic, he gets the mic. I don't know what the hell he's saying. Only thing I can tell you is that all I heard was Rhea, mommy, is over in India, still champion. And that's all I heard. If Dominic said anything important, I did not hear it because the crowd was booing the hell out of him. And then when Damian grabs the mic, everybody sees. You love to see it. But they started talking a lot of trash about the brawling brutes and everything, and you know this is just a lot of Santana's men in the ring right now, minus Dominic and Ridge. That's just a lot of action happening. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself. But yeah, Pete and Finn, this is shades to NXT. Like, if you know, you know. Like, come on now. So like, all I heard was the sound of the fan going off when Dominic's. Yeah, the fans they don't be caring anything that Dominic has to say, like, not at all whatsoever. But Finn, no, I'm not saying that. No, but Finn and Pete and everything, of course they have their history from down in NXT, which I still to this day think like Pete should have like won the NXT championship. Like, Finn did not need it at all whatsoever because Finn had already established himself. But here we are. But um he did what he did exactly what he always do, and that is break people's fingers. And that is exactly what he did to Finn. But before we got to that, I mean, Ridge, he got on the mic and he talked about how he was going to do the Judgment Day, the same way that he's done all the other tag teams, and we know what Ridge has done to the other tag teams, and that has injured them. Some severely, others we still don't know the condition yet. So this turned into a big brawl right before they got into this tag team match here. Which, like I said, I was very excited for, but also like, why are y'all putting my men against each other? Like, can y'all please, for 1 week, for 1 second, stop doing this to me? Everywhere I go, my men are fighting somehow, some way. What is the problem? Do you not have anybody else? I'm tired of being in the middle of a sword fight, okay? I am sick. Well, in my mind, at my mouth, I am sick of it. In my mind, I am not. So, just saying. But Stephanie, Ridge saying that, utilizing realistic injuries to say that this is something that he's going to the Judgment Day, like, what are your thoughts on that? You know what I'm saying? What are your thoughts on Judgment Day, being champions, newly crowned champions, but also coming down to SmackDown? Because Sammy and Kevin barely came to SmackDown. They were majorly on Monday Night Raw. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like with Judgment Day being champions now, do you feel like it may be a little bit of a change within the tag team division, actually giving a lot of attention to the SmackDown tag team division outside of just Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, I feel like it will be a little bit of a change in comparison to KO and Sammy. But I do respect KO and Sammy though, because they had a hell of a fight Saturday.
They did.
This past Saturday at Payback for them titles. Like it was a back and forth thing. Like it was extreme, it was amazing. Like it was a lot. They went to war for those titles. And I was irritated when they won. Much respect to you, because I understand these are your men, but I hated the Judgment Day won them titles. I hated it because honestly, it just looked like there was just so many issues internally when it came to Finn and Damien. And to me, I'm just like, are you guys gonna like get this together? Because Rhea threatened them, and said, look, if y'all don't get this together, then there's gonna be some changes. But I felt like she absolved them of facing any consequences by going out there to help them. Like she and Dominic both helped them in that
Tag
street
match.
fight in
Yeah.
that street fight, and it's just like they helped them win. So I'm just saying here, like, what makes you think them winning all the titles is gonna like iron out all of their issues? And then mind you, JD McDonough also dipped in their business too. But it's just like, what makes you think all of that and them having all of these accolades right now and all the gold is going to help them get past their issues? Now this week everything seemed fine and kosher, but honestly, I hated it. I really hated it because that outcome in that street fight absolved Finn and Damien from facing any consequences. It's simply because Rhea came out there to help them. She was definitely being their mommy because she was trying to protect them from the toughness of the world, and I didn't like that. So now here we are with them being obnoxious with all these belts in the suitcase. Okay, great. Um, Now when it comes to Ridge saying what he said, like that did make me wince a little because I was just like, yeah, you can talk about, how much you can, tear people up in the ring and everything, but you mentioning that when you are partly responsible, if not mostly responsible for why Big E isn't here, is just kind of terrible. And here again, it's tougher for me because I actually witnessed it happen. So it was just like that felt a little bit odd to me. I was just like, that was a pretty poor choice of words. You could have put that a different way. But, accidents do happen. So I don't want to just place all the blame on him. But honestly, that just felt really kind of tone deaf. But either way, this match seemed pretty okay and pretty cool. But if we weren't going to have anybody, if we weren't going to have the Brawling Brutes to fight Judgment Day, I would have loved it if the LWO could have done it instead. Because I feel like we don't see enough of them in these types of situations, facing off against champions like this and trying to qualify for bigger things. But they sent the Brawling Brutes out there. But then I also don't know if the rest of LWO was in India or not. So there was just, I would have preferred for it. to been them instead of the Brawling Brutes, but hey, it's whatever.
I don't think that they were there. I don't think they were in India.
Yeah, I know Zelina was here, but the rest of them, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I don't think they were in India. I just think they may have just didn't have anything more so planned for them. But I mean, this is the start, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like eventually, within down the line, you know, I mean, this is just their first matchup that they're having against the Brawling Brutes. And I mean, the Brawling Brutes are going to always be utilized somehow, some way. And I feel like eventually, you know, as time continue on, as we start to see the Judgment Day be a little bit more on Friday Night SmackDown, especially holding, you know, consider to be the SmackDown titles, you know what I'm saying? They will probably start to implement themselves a little bit more into the tag team division, like LWO and other tag team that they're like, maybe when this is all settled and done, because they were watching the match, Pretty Deadly, who we haven't seen in a while because, well, one of them is injured, and the person that injured them is in the ring right now. You know what I'm saying? And which still, though, we still haven't even seen them in a while since, because of the injury and everything like that. But it is a nice note that they popped up on the screen to show that, okay, hey, we may be one man down, but we're gonna do what we need to do, and that show up on the screen. And that's that. Even though they look great doing it, I still feel like, you know, once Elton is cleared and everything and stuff, I think eventually they will probably end up having their issues with, definitely more so Ridge in a sense, and the Brawling Brutes, whatever. Um, are you doing the recap for Victory Road too? Yeah, I am. I will be on the recap show for Victory Road. So once we finish here for SmackDown 11:30, that's when Victory Road's post show is gonna be. So definitely stay tuned to that. I am Natty tonight. I'm double duty. I just finished beating the hell out of Zoe Stark, and now I'm finna go lose and get folded by Rhea Ripley. That is every man's dream, including mine. But Judgment Day did get the victory, so I mean, all my men won in my mind. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm here for everything. I can't wait to just hang Judgment Day and build my own Judgment Day layer and everything like that. But Judgment Day might have some issues, because we got to see Bobby and the Street Profits, still no name attached, come out. Look, first of all, Dawkins is eating this suit. I'm not even gonna lie. That mulberry color is. Put them in GQ magazine if they still got that. I think, like, this is like GQ magazine front cover, like straight off of like the show Ballers that The Rock used to be on. This is what I'm looking at. You know, I'm still gonna go back to Rush Hour, buttercream. What size is the waist? Let's go in. Like, let's put that Adam on them. Like, honestly, if either Bobby, Montez, or Dawkins comes out with a crocodile skin mocha buttercream type suit on eventually someday, I'm going to, when I see that, I'm grabbing that video from Rush Hour too, and I'm playing it on here, because it just works so perfectly with that. Every time I see them in these damn suits, that's all I think about is that scene from Rush Hour 2. That's all I think about. So, what size is the waist? Let's go in. Okay. But I just feel like, child,
he's got some fire to him. I like that.
Do not let me ever work in a suit store, because that is going to be me to all the men in there. I'm putting dead animals on all the men. Crocodile skin, everybody. What size? Let's go in. You got the big broad shoulders. Let's put a dead animal on them. Okay.
Let's not call, as long as PETA doesn't know that you're doing this. As long as PETA doesn't know, let's make it cruelty free, okay? Because
it's gonna be cruelty free. all of that, vegan free, diet, all of that. It's gonna be the most free shit you ever seen in your entire life. But but yeah, so I mean, it definitely shows that, because Judgment Day is definitely be known that they're gonna be running both shows, point blank period, all the shows to be exact. But the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley are like, you may think that, but it's not happening that way. I'm telling you right now. So point blank period, we're gonna be running that show. So yeah, so there was just a big stare down between all six of these guys. I'm just like, wow, the competition is heating up, and I feel like it's only right for Judgment Day because they have more members, and this is the equal battlefield, or is it? Because we still got a little bit more to truly dive into. Okay, we do. Like I said right here, they out here on their phones watching TikTok videos and laughing at stuff while AJ out there getting his ass jumped in the streets. And y'all out here like, oh, we don't want no problems. We don't want to get involved with the bloodline. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't want to get in part of the bloodline? I'm out here getting my ass whooped, beat down. And you don't want no problems. You don't want any issues. I'm out here getting jumped by one person, two people. And y'all want to stand around like y'all want to get no, y'all don't want to. Mia last week, Jimmy disrespected you, but you over here kikiing with the OC.
Yeah, and AJ, was caping up for her, which is how he got in this in the first place. Like AJ was caping up for her, and in a sense, it's just kind of like I understand his frustration because he was wondering, where his crew was at. But at the same time, him and Jimmy were like two single people fighting. So a part of me felt a little bit conflicted because I was just like, the both of you were fighting each other and it was a one-on-one deal. It's not like the entire bloodline jumped you. But at the same time, I kind of understand how you felt, but I feel like it's a little bit too extreme for him to just, cut them off like that. Like that felt very extreme to me. But I understand you being frustrated, but don't just cut them off completely because as you see later, like stuff went awry at the end and he basically told them don't come out here. So it's just like, I mean, it's just really sad. But I also want to give a shout out to Mia Yim and seeing her diamond ring on her finger because that was plateau. Keith really did give her an amazing ring. So shout out to that. But either way, this really like pained me because I'm just like all the factions are just going through some type of turmoil with the exception of Judgment Day and LWO. But there's just so much drama here. But I don't want AJ to just drop them completely. But it does beg the question, what are the purpose of the OC if they aren't going to battle with him? We don't even see them fight that much. So, yeah.
They have it in their contract. Like if they're not how they did, I know they had in their contract, like if they're not wrestling or like a part of anything, like they're not like a part of like storyline wise, and they're not gonna be wrestling like that. They that's something that's kind of been, I guess, more so talked about within their contract. But I think that with AJ, he is very frustrated. Like right now at this moment, I don't even want what T.I. say, listen, I don't want to kick it with your skate with your smoke with your nothing. Y'all done piss me off. Give me my damn necklace back. I don't want to talk to none of y'all right now. I don't have nothing to say. I don't even want y'all get out my face right now. Everybody get out. Get out the house right now. I don't want to talk to you. Don't even come out there and help me because when I wanted y'all to help me, where was y'all at?
It's just like Future said, where your ass was at.
Where y'all was at when I was mentioned? Like where are you now when I need you? Okay. Are you crazy? Y'all left me out there for dead. Okay. Y'all didn't left me out there for dead. That's what y'all did. And now y'all look at how y'all looking at AJ. Y'all looking at him crazy, like something wrong with him. Y'all think he the problem. He didn't put himself in that. They started with y'all. And then everybody like, oh, we don't want to get involved. I don't want to hear it. So I get it. AJ is a little bit upset right now. And I would be too, because if y'all supposed to be my friends, why y'all ain't do no when they jumped me? Even though it was just Jimmy at that time. But why y'all ain't do no when they jumped me? Y'all just stood there and look. Hugging and shit. Looking at videos, laughing and kikiing. I'm out there on the screen. Everybody watching me get my ass jumped. commentary don't even know what to do. They can't even help me either. Goddamn Paul Heyman and ran around the corner calling Roman Reigns like, what the fuck Roman Reigns gonna do? Come whip my ass too, and y'all go stand there and look because y'all want no problem with the bloodline. I'd have beat y'all ass to y'all ass back to Impact. But nonetheless, because this is WWE Impact crew, no lie. All right, but hopefully by next week, the OC will see exactly what happened to AJ, where maybe they'll reconsider assisting AJ, or maybe AJ will find some new friends of his own, is what I'm thinking. So,
no, AJ told him not to come out there.
And they listened. They should have been like how the Usos was when Roman told not to bring their ass out there, and what they did. Brought their ass out there.
But what if he flipped on them and then got angry because they came out there to help him when he told them not to?
Well, he was just been mad.
It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Well, guess what? I'll be damned if I sit there and watch you get your ass whooped again. That's embarrassment. Officially canceled. That's what they are.
That's fair.
They are. So, I don't know. But I think maybe next week, once AJ, well, I don't know. AJ might be even mad again next week because y'all didn't see what happened. So y'all still ain't gonna come out. You told us to stay back here. I don't give a damn what I said. I'm getting my ass jumped again, 2 weeks in a row, and y'all just standing back there like what? What y'all do? Go home? Y'all went to the bar down the street? What y'all do? Hop on a plane? Me and you went to go home and get on your damn Twitch? What the hell is going on around here? So, I don't know, but maybe AJ and the OC, everybody come together as one and then maybe figure out what they're gonna do. And maybe I am confusing them. I don't know, but they're confusing me. Everybody's confusing me. So, I don't know, but hopefully, I don't know. Maybe. Just maybe they will rethink not coming to help AJ. I hope. So, of course, next week, La Knight faces The Miz. Miz gets his one-on-one match. And no John Cena, allegedly, but we couldn't see John Cena on Monday, so maybe he would be the special guest referee again. We just can't see him. But we do know that John Cena does return, and he will be on the Grayson Waller Effect show, which will probably lead to Grayson Waller facing John Cena, which leads to The Rock coming to the Grayson Waller's Effect show, and then he goes out to beat Roman and become champion. And then he takes over the whole Samoan dynasty. And then TK got to update her shirt. And also, we do know that the WWE Women's Championship will be on the line. Io Sky will be defending her title against Asuka, actually 2 weeks away to be exact. So, which is like, girl, September 22nd, like y'all couldn't do this at Fastlane, but I also feel like maybe this match does not end like clean or anything like that, and maybe they run it back for Fastlane. That's what I'm thinking, but
maybe so. Or maybe that episode of SmackDown will just be special and maybe they'll main event it or something like that. You just never know.
That's true. It'd be nice if they did, but I guess we'll just have to find out come 2 weeks away, guys. But we are here at the main event, Jimmy versus AJ Styles. Before we dive into this, we will take a short commercial break, and we will be right back.
Hey peeps, TK Trinidad here, boss lady of Women's Wrestling Talk. And I want to say thank you so much for watching because you've got millions of options. Plus, you don't have to worry about sharing your password to check us out. But while you're here, hopefully you know we have so many more shows to watch, like Turnbuckle Glam, Raw Post-Show, WoW Post-Show, AEW Dynamite Post-Show, Women's Wrestling Army Post-Show, NXT Post-Show, Impact Wrestling Post-Show, AEW Rampage and SmackDown Live Post-Show, On the Scroll, ROH Post-Show, WWT Live, plus all of our interviews with the hottest women's wrestlers in the game. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, check out our website at www.talkpod.com and follow us on all social media platforms at www.talkpod, and make sure to spread the word. That means send this to the group chat. Yes, even the person with the green bubble. Thanks again so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao for now.
Hey guys, my name is Jade Cargill, your former TBS champion and your future Women's World Champion, and you are watching Women's Wrestling Talk.
Shout out to Jade for shouting out Women's Wrestling Talk, and definitely check out that interview that TK Trinidad did with the former TBS champion and maybe your future world champion Jade Cargill up on our YouTube channel right now. Also, check out the interview that me and Nikki have with Kevin Knight, the Jet, where he called me out for a match, and yeah,
Girl, what?
yeah. He called me, like, if you watch in the first clip before we even dive in the interview, he calls me out basically for a match, you know, if it's in the gender match wise. So looks like I'm about to step into the ring right quick and knock some people down.
Oh, well, that's a very forward way to start an interview. Wow.
Well, I wouldn't say that's how the interview started. It was just more so it was a question that I asked, you know, about like if he would, you know, if he thought about doing intergender matches, and he, you know, who would he like to step in a ring with. And well, I was one of those people that he was like, you know, whenever you're ready.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, he might be cute, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna root for you. So let's go.
Well, Mr. Knight gonna be in the corner like, because I'm a. All right, back to the SmackDown post show. So, of course, we made it to our main event. Jimmy Uso versus AJ Styles, and Jimmy's theme song is really starting to grow on me. I know the beginning part is kind of a little bit like, but it's like, you know, put me in a dungeon. Hey, let me tell you something. If I was to go train like Natty and TJ, oh, I'd be dangerous. I'm telling you, like, the way my 2K character is set up is how I would be as a wrestler. I would have every attribute of a wrestler. I would be a high flyer. I'd be technical, submissions, a powerhouse, a broad low striker. I am all in one. Like, I would be all in one, honestly.
Can I say something about Jimmy's song real quick?
Yeah.
I do notice that his song actually has a little bit more lyrics to his other than Jay, like in comparison to Jay's song, and his lyrics in his theme song are very telling. In terms of, you know, being a family dude, and, you know, being, you know, on top of things, kind of like a Roman would be. So if you haven't done it already, you know, I'm not sure if they've posted on streaming services quite yet, but if you listen to the words of it, it's quite telling of what his journey is at this point, as his own solo star. I do like that component of it. But yeah, it's clear him and Jay have both been in the studio for their songs.
Very much so. And I mean, I think it was like, I think that, you know, it is more so of a telling of where, you know, his theme song is called In the Past and everything. It does sample some elements of Roman Reigns' current theme song, like how it is in the beginning side. So I kind of can hear that there, and everything, how it sounds in the beginning. It definitely has like that Roman thing, but I feel like it is foreshadowing some things as well, even in the lyrics and stuff like that. I wish they would kind of like go ahead and upload those lyrics so that you know, you can kind of hear, you know, or read what it, you know, what the lyrics are actually saying, you know what I'm saying? So I have no idea, but I like it. I'm cool with it, you know, for the most part. I think it's I like both of theirs. You know, it both tells a separation between those two. I mean, it's Jay, it's just me. It's just me, Oos. Like it is just him. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that he kept the theme at least, but you know, it is just him. You know what I'm saying? He is out there doing the things by himself and stuff like that. While Jimmy, he's on a path of a journey of his own. Like I was saying on Monday Night Raw, Jimmy and Jay are both in their anime reference wise. They're both in their own arc. Basically, it's like Naruto and Sasuke. You know, saying they're both on their own journey and path, and every much is more a little bit different than everything like that. Um, you know, simple as that. Any power duo of whether they friends or brothers or whatever, they're going into their own different arc. Or if you want to take it away, since we're doing like brothers, Itachi and Sasuke. Sasuke would be like Jay, and Itachi would be like Jimmy. Except Itachi, well, except Jimmy didn't go kill his clan, but you
Oh
have to
wow.
you will have to watch Naruto to know that. But I'm not gonna give out no spoilers or whatever. But
Well, I appreciate, those anime references. Those are pretty astute. But I just know for me, since I really don't know a lot about anime, for me it's almost like watching oh my gosh, it's like watching Joan and Tony in Girlfriends and seeing Joan sort of, go on this journey of figuring out how to be her own woman without, centering her whole life on a man. And then you have Tony trying to figure out how to be a wife to a husband and also being a mother, while also at the same time realizing that her marriage can't be saved. No spoilers, but that's kind of what it's like for me in a sense. But then they somehow find their way back to each other, even though, of course, if you know the ending of that show, there really wasn't an ending. But I choose to believe that somehow Joan and Tony found their way back to each other, because their friendship was a bit fraught. But hopefully they'll find their way back to each other. Mara, Braka, Kill, do a reboot somehow after the strike is over, please. But yeah.
I thought they maybe were in works of actually doing a reboot for Girlfriends and everything. But I think that when people actually started to watch it now as an adult wise, they really started to understand that the show was full of shit. Like
it was. It was pretty dated in a couple of ways too when you watch it now. Like there are certain things that they said that really wouldn't fly now. But you do understand it a bit more as an adult than you would like say if it was on television when you were a child. So
you're a teenager, and in the moment you're like, girlfriends singing things on, it's like, y'all really weren't like girlfriends. Like, y'all were quite interesting. But yeah, nonetheless, feel like we became a sitcom. Just like Jimmy continues to be a sitcom whenever he pops up on my damn screen.
Maybe we should be a sitcom.
We need to cue the laughs.
Yeah.
Get us a damn soundboard and start queuing up the damn laughs and shit and everything. But we get to our main event with Jimmy and AJ. This match was going pretty well for the most part and everything. And Paul said that Solo wasn't there, and that Roman wasn't there. But unless I'm like, I got cataracts in my eyes or something and I can't fucking see, but that looks like Solo to me. Call Roman Reigns.
Call Solo,
please, because I'm like, girl, what are you doing here? Like, allegedly you weren't here, so I mean, and I mean, Jimmy was really happy. Ariana, what are you doing here? But
couldn't help it.
But Jimmy looked pretty happy to see Solo. He was motioning him to come down there and everything. And this is like a big, huge distraction for AJ, because even in the sense of, the distraction and everything, AJ still got the victory. That's the crazy part. Like, Jimmy is trying to get Solo to help him, but Solo turns his back on him and gets knocked down in the back and everything. And then AJ takes advantage of Jimmy and he wins the match and stuff like that. It was a great moment. Shout out to AJ Styles. So now I am confusion, because why the fuck is Finn and Damien feeding AJ Styles to Solo and Jimmy? Are you trying to like make an alliance here or something, like to be like beneficial or something, or what? Because y'all were once standing across from each other on Monday Night Raw. You know what I'm saying? This could be a business arrangement because remember, this isn't the first time there was much of a business arrangement between the Judgment Day and Paul Heyman. I will say that because it did happen on a Monday Night Raw. It definitely did. And so maybe this is where they're going to be picking back off with their business or partnership arrangement or whatever this is supposed to be. I'm just trying to understand, like, what exactly are we trying to do here? How is Rhea going to react in the fact of that Finn and Damien are down here sort of trying to have like a business arrangement with the Bloodline, knowing that her and Solo got the biggest beef out of them all? I'm just trying to understand something because it's not like it's making sense, but it's also like it's like you come in peace type thing. You talk shit about them earlier, saying that you're gonna be bigger than them, you're gonna be better than them. There's like this dysfunction, the bloodlines no more. You know we did something that they couldn't do, we did something that Roman couldn't do. You guys said all this type of stuff earlier tonight, and now you are coming in peace. Like, are you trying to play mind games or something, or what? I'm not understanding, but that is basically what happened at the end of Friday Night SmackDown. And I'm still trying to understand something. I'm still trying to figure out like what the fuck is going on with Jimmy. Why the fuck is the Judgment Day like sacrificing AJ? The OC, you sit and bring your raggedy ass out here, even though the man said don't come out here, but that doesn't matter. Like, all of this here, I'm gonna put a pin in that for Monday Night Raw and for Friday Night SmackDown next week. Because I'm gonna get some answers, I hope.
I just had a brain blast.
Mm-hmm.
What if this is setting up some type of ungodly faction fight for Survivor Series?
I mean, it's very possible that they could go the War Games route because there is supposed to be another War Games happening for Survivor Series. I don't necessarily know if they're going to run it the way they did it last year, but it's very possible that they could, because that'll be a lot of numbers though, because of course maybe Roman would be a part of it, maybe he'll probably do his own shit, against Seth, and then that takes him out of the War Games equation. So then it could just be Jimmy, Solo, Finn, Damien, and Dominic. That's 5 there. You have AJ, Bobby, Lashley, Street Profits. That's 4. But you need one more person.
I mean, because Judgment Day, it's like the reason why I said it, I feel like I'm echoing. I feel like the reason why I said that is because it's just like when you think about all the stuff that was happening with the factions, it's like you got the Bloodline out there being kind of ratchet, whatever. And then you also have the Judgment Day and how they've sort of inserted themselves into Bloodline business by offering up AJ, who is also in like the OC. And then you also have Bobby, Montez, and Angelo, who just confronted the Judgment Day. And then you also still have LWO in there. And then a couple of those factions have women in them. So it's just like a part of me is wondering, like, what type of ungodly thing could they be coming up with that would be that big? I can only imagine it for a Survivor Series and not necessarily for a Fastlane.
Yeah.
Because Survivor Series is at the end of November, but it's just like all of this could be leading towards something large. Now, this is a what if scenario. I just thought about this just now.
Yeah.
But it's just, I mean, and I'm not saying this is or is not or could like isn't happening, because I of course don't have those type of connections. But
Mhm.
I'm just thinking like all these factions are really getting tied up with each other in a way that I just didn't expect. Like, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
It is like it's kind of I don't know. It's like it's a lot of only thing I can say there is a lot of confusion going on down on the Friday Night SmackDown right now. There truly is, and honestly, I feel like as the time go on, we will end up getting to the bottom of a lot of this stuff. I do feel like that. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure as the weeks go on and time passes, we would definitely figure it out. Joseph said maybe a triple threat war games where we have LWO versus Judgment Day versus Bullet Club. That's only
Mm-hmm.
if the OC decide they want to get their shit together. To be honest, that's the only thing I
Mm-hmm.
can think of, and maybe they will. Hopefully they will. If not, then I'm gonna kick your ass myself. How about that? I'm telling you right now. So, but that pretty much brings us to the end of the Friday Night SmackDown post show. We thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here as always, man. As always, Stephanie, let everyone know where they can keep up with you at and everything like that.
Well, yeah, of course. I'm always happy to be with you on Friday night talking about the Blue brand, because there's just a lot of exciting stuff cracking. So of course you can find and follow me, your girl Stephanie Hardy, on Instagram, Twitter, and threads at Queen Steph Hardy. And you can follow my show, The Hardy Wrestling Podcast, on Instagram at Hardy Wrestling Podcast, and on Twitter at Hardy Wrestle Pod. I will have a new episode of the show, HWP, this Sunday, called Steph Mania, where I talk about what I loved in wrestling this week and talk about news and gossipish, because there's a lot popped off over the weekend. So I do want to talk about that. And I will be having more episodes coming out soon. An extra episode where I give a deep dive into what happened at Worlds Collide with Carmelo Hayes and Ricochet, because that was a special match for me because that happened last year on my birthday. So I want to talk about that, as well as an interview with the big flexer Alexis Littlefoot. That's coming as well. And on Women's Wrestling Talk, you can catch me here on this show every Friday, as well as on the WoW After Show every Monday with Katrina Blake and Emily May Heller. And of course, you can go on www.talkpod.com and read my first recap article that I did on the last episode of WoW Superheroes 2. Like, I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy that Santana let me write it. And, she, of course, worked her magic all over it. And now it's out there for the world to see. So please go on there and read it if you didn't catch last weekend's episode of WoW Superheroes. It was a really good one. I know it was a big wrestling weekend, but please check it out. I put a lot of heart and soul into it, and I'm hopefully going to be able to continue to do that as WoW continues to grow as a, all women's amazing show. So yeah, just check that out.
Definitely, definitely. And sorry guys, I'm trying to get everything ready for Victory Rose post show, because that will be happening at 11:30 Central Time. So probably in the next couple of minutes is when we'll go live here, me and Nikki, for Victory Road. Impact had their pay-per-view tonight, which was actually a really, really good show. Impact puts on a really, really great show. Whether it's shows or pay-per-views, they really, truly do an amazing job with doing their shows and everything. So if those who are just now hopping over to Impact, to some, they're welcoming y'all with open arms. To me, come in here, act like you got some damn sense. We don't do none of that BS y'all do at the other promotions or none like that. We don't do that there. Here, okay. We have a good time. We enjoy ourselves. We cheer. We just have a great time. All the BS, leave it at the door. We don't do that here. Okay. Just let y'all know that. In regards to me, of course, you guys can always Google me, Drione Santana, Driune. This is gonna always find me and everything like that. You can find me here on Women's Wrestling Talk as always. On Monday Night Raw post show, on Impact Wrestling post show, and of course here on Friday Night SmackDown post show. You can also find me on Turbo Glam, and Game with the Salt Shakers is happening tomorrow as well. So definitely you want to come and hang out with us there. We did last week for Fortnite. I'm sick of everybody at Fortnite. I'm not gonna lie to you. Other than that, you can always just continue to follow Women's Wrestling Talk on all social media platforms. Check out our interviews that we have. Jay Cargill, we have one with Kevin Knight. We have of course, we got the interview with Tony Khan and everything from All In and All Out pay-per-views, Media Scrum. A plethora of other interviews that'll be dropping really soon. There's a Soraya interview dropping soon. There's a Courtney Rush interview dropping soon. There's a plethora of interviews that are on Women's Wrestling Talk YouTube channel as of right now that you guys can definitely go and check out if you haven't looked at any of those interviews. I just want to say that Women's Wrestling Talk, we do live up to being the number one women's wrestling show on the planet as always. There's nobody else that can compete with us, and we do a damn good job. We work really hard doing what we need to do. Point blank, period. Like we're literally an entity everywhere, and people know Women's Wrestling Talk, even if they don't know us all individually by name or whatever, but they know Women's Wrestling Talk and everything. Like we have loads of content, whether it's on the website, whether it's on social media and everything like that. And we have a group of badass people who are just doing the damn thing, point blank, period. Yes. And if you're not down with that, then we got 2 words for you. And it ain't suck it either. All right, I'm just playing. But
wait, I got one more thing to promote. I forgot that this week I was on the after show for NXT with Shay. So if you haven't checked that out, you can also check that out too. So yeah.
Of course. And I don't know. I'm looking at some of these other videos they got back here that look pretty crazy. Also, we had some StarCast stuff happening over the weekend as well. So we got a lot of run-ins and drops from everyone and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. And we have some that want to ride the coattails. Said you are a fucking moron. You deserve it. You deserve it. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Definitely come back. If you watch Victory Road, definitely do come back for their post show that'll be happening at 11:30. And once again, as always, thank you guys so much for hanging out with Women's Wrestling Talk. Your true and only and first real EST or WT has always been here. So, and I do every damn thing here. I can take the other EST job if I wanted to, but I don't want to, do what I do best. But you guys enjoy your weekend and be back here at 11:30 for the Victory Road post show. Bye, guys.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.